The enormous silver ship descended through Earth's atmosphere, its shining hull reflecting the morning sunlight. Inside, Ambassador Xilax of the Arvani Confederation wrapped his 4 slender arms around his torso, already feeling the strain of Earth's gravity on his light blue frame. "Status report," he said, blinking his large eyes at Science Officer Neeler. Neeler's fingers danced across the holographic display. "Earth's gravity is 1.3 times our homeworld. Atmosphere contains 21% oxygen, much higher than we're accustomed to. Temperature variations are extreme." Cultural specialist Thune joined them at the viewport, his purple skin darkening with concern. "Remind me why the Galactic Council classified this planet as a death world." "High gravity, extreme weather patterns, dangerous predatory life forms, and tectonic instability," Neeler recited. "The humans evolved under constant survival pressure." Xilax sighed. "And yet they've achieved faster than light travel only 3 centuries after discovering electricity. The Council believes we can learn from their adaptability." The ship settled onto the landing pad at the United Nations Interspecies Port in Geneva. Through the viewport, they could see a small, welcoming committee of humans waiting on the tarmac. "Remember," said Xilax, "this cultural exchange is our first extended contact with humans. We must overcome our biological differences to understand them." When the airlock opened, the 3 Arvani delegates immediately felt the crushing weight of Earth's gravity. Each step required conscious effort as they made their way down the ramp. The air felt thick and too rich, making them slightly lightheaded. Tall human female with short brown hair stepped forward. "Ambassador Xilax, welcome to Earth. I'm Captain Samantha Wright, your liaison from the Diplomatic Corps." She extended a hand in the human greeting gesture. Xilax carefully copied the motion, marveling at the strength in her grip. "Thank you, Captain Wright. May I present Science Officer Neeler and Cultural Specialist Thune?" A male human with glasses and a beard nodded. "Dr. Alan Peterson, xenobiologist. I'll be monitoring your physiological adaptation to Earth conditions." The third human, darker-skinned with a friendly smile, gave a slight bow. "Jack Martinez, Cultural Attaché. I'll help navigate our social customs and traditions." As they walked toward the building, Xilax noticed how effortlessly the humans moved. Their bodies seemed dense, compact, built for this heavy world. By comparison, the Arvani felt fragile, their movements awkward and strained. Inside the conference room, Captain Wright outlined the 6-week exchange program. "We've prepared comfortable quarters adjusted to your needs. Dr. Peterson will check your health daily as you acclimate." "What activities will we participate in?" asked Thune, eager to begin his cultural studies. "We thought we'd start with some recreational activities," said Jack. "They're good icebreakers." "This weekend, maybe some swimming," Samantha suggested. Casually. "Next week, basketball or volleyball. Then maybe hiking in the mountains." The 3 aliens exchanged confused glances. "You swim in your water bodies? Voluntarily?" asked Neelar. "Sure," said Jack. "Most of us learn as kids, it's fun." "And hiking in mountains, where oxygen levels drop and temperatures fluctuate dangerously?" Thune's voice rose slightly. Dr. Peterson smiled. "Earth's wilderness can be challenging, but with proper equipment, it's quite enjoyable." Ambassador Xilax noted how the humans discussed these potentially hazardous activities with casual excitement. Perhaps this was the key to understanding the species that thrived on a death world. "I believe we should participate in these recreational activities," Xilax announced, surprising his colleagues. "If we wish to understand humans, we must experience what they consider enjoyable." "Excellent." Samantha clapped her hands together. "I'll set everything up." Later, in their private quarters, Neeler confronted Xilax. "Ambassador, these activities sound dangerous for our physiology." "Perhaps," Xilax replied, gazing out the window at humans jogging along a path outside. "But observe them. They're running, voluntarily increasing their exertion. There's something we're missing about human psychology." Thune joined them. "I've been reviewing their entertainment broadcasts. Many of their sports involve physical risk, competition, and endurance." "Then that's what we must understand," said Xilax. What appears as simple recreation may be the key to their species' resilience. The three aliens watched as outside, a human child fell while running, scraped her knee, then got up laughing and continued playing. "This," whispered Zilax, "will be more educational than we anticipated." News of the Arvani delegation's request to participate in human recreational activities spread quickly through Earth's government channels. By the next morning, the United Nations Interspecies Relations Office had called an emergency meeting. "This is a perfect opportunity," said Director Susan Miller, addressing the room of diplomats and PR specialists. "A chance to show the galaxy that humans aren't the dangerous brutes some alien species believe us to be." Captain Samantha Wright nodded. The Arvani seemed genuinely interested in understanding our culture through sports. "Then let's give them the full experience," Director Miller said with a smile. "But safely, of course." Later that day, Samantha met with the alien delegation in their temperature-controlled quarters. The three Arvani sat on specially designed chairs that supported their lighter frames. "The UN has approved your request," she told them. "We've designed a 6-week program of gradually increasing activities." Ambassador Zilax's large eyes blinked with interest. "Excellent news. When do we begin?" "Tomorrow," Samantha replied. "We'll start with swimming. Our media department wants to document this cultural exchange. Would you be comfortable with cameras?" The aliens exchanged glances. Cultural specialist Thune spoke up. "You wish to record our participation?" Jack Martinez, who had been quiet until now, grinned. "Actually, the networks are proposing something bigger, a reality show format called Stellar Sports Challenge. People are already excited." "Reality show?" asked Neeler, the science officer. "Entertainment programming," explained Jack. "Viewers will follow your journey as you try different sports." Zilax considered this. "Our people would also be interested in witnessing this exchange. We could broadcast to Arvani networks as well." "Perfect." Samantha clapped her hands together. "It'll be a dual-planet broadcast." Dr. Alan Peterson entered with several tablets. "Before we begin, I've prepared some information about human physiology compared to Arvani. You'll need to understand the differences to adjust your expectations." He displayed diagrams showing the denser muscle structure of humans, their stronger bone density, and more efficient oxygen processing systems. "Your species evolved on a world with approximately 0.7 Earth gravity," Alan explained. "Your muscles and bones are adapted to that environment. Here, you'll tire more quickly and strain more intensely." Thune studied the diagrams with fascination. "And humans do these physical activities voluntarily, even with your already robust bodies?" "We enjoy challenging ourselves," Samantha said. "It's satisfying to push your limits." The concept seemed to puzzle the aliens, but Zilax nodded slowly. "If humans find enjoyment in physical exertion, we shall attempt to understand this perspective." That evening, the alien delegation watched videos of swimming competitions, their expressions growing increasingly concerned. "They immerse themselves completely in dihydrogen monoxide," Neeler observed, "a substance that could fill their respiratory systems and cause death. And they compete to move through it faster," added Thune, "creating artificial danger scenarios." Ambassador Zilax watched thoughtfully. "Yet human children learn this skill routinely. If offspring can master it, surely we can as well." The next morning, they arrived at an indoor pool facility. The smell of chlorine made their sensitive nasal membranes contract. The sounds of splashing and laughing children echoed through the space. A tall, muscular human woman with short, blonde hair approached them. "Welcome. I'm Olivia Grant, your swimming instructor." The aliens stared at the large body of water with visible apprehension. "Don't worry," Olivia said cheerfully. "We'll start in the shallow end where you can stand." Camera. Crews positioned themselves discreetly around the pool. This would be the first footage for Stellar Sports Challenge. Samantha handed each alien a custom-fitted swimsuit. "These are waterproof and designed for your physiology." As they changed and prepared to enter the water, Ambassador Zilax whispered to his companions, "Remember, this is merely recreation for humans. If they do this for enjoyment, surely it cannot be too difficult. None of them noticed Dr. Peterson's slight smile as he monitored their vital signs from the poolside. The humans understood what the aliens did not yet grasp. They were about to discover just how much fun could feel like survival training to species from gentler worlds. The moment Ambassador Zillax placed one foot into the swimming pool, he jerked it back with a startled cry. "It's so dense," he exclaimed, his blue skin rippling with surprise. Olivia Grant, the swimming instructor, nodded patiently. "Earth's water has higher density than the liquid on your homeworld. You'll need to adjust to the feeling." Science Officer Neeler carefully analyzed the water with a small device. The surface tension is much stronger than our native fluids. The camera crews captured every reaction as the three Arvani cautiously entered the shallow end. The water reached only to their knees, but they moved as if wading through thick syrup. "Now," Olivia demonstrated, "cup your hands like this and push the water behind you." She made a gentle paddling motion. Thune tried to copy her movement but nearly lost his balance. His thin arms couldn't push against the water with enough force to create propulsion. "I don't understand," he said, frustration evident in his voice. "The physics should be simple." From the side of the pool, Dr. Peterson called out, "Your muscle density is about 60% of human standard. You'll need to exert more effort for the same result." Zillax was determined to master this human activity. He pushed harder against the water and managed to move forward slightly. "I believe I'm beginning to understand the technique." Nearby, human children splashed and swam effortlessly. A small girl no more than 6 years old paddled past the struggling aliens, giggling as she went. "Your offspring master this at such a young age?" Neeler asked Samantha, who watched from poolside. "Most human children learn swimming basics around age 4 or 5, she replied. "It's considered an essential safety skill." The aliens exchanged significant glances. "Safety skill," repeated Zillax quietly. "Not merely recreation?" Jack Martinez nodded. "Humans can drown in water. Learning to swim is survival training that we've turned into fun." This revelation seemed to shock the Arvani. Thune's purple skin darkened with concentration as he pushed himself to try harder. "If human children can learn this as a matter of survival, I can certainly master it as an adult," he declared. For the next 2 hours, the aliens practiced floating, kicking, and basic arm movements. Their bodies, evolved for a much gentler environment, struggled against Earth's water. By the session's end, they were exhausted but had made surprising progress. "You're quick learners," Olivia complimented them as they emerged from the pool, dripping and breathing heavily. That evening, in their quarters, the three aliens reviewed the day's experience while watching the first raw footage of their swimming. "Lesson. Look at our movements compared to the humans," Neeler observed. "They barely seem to exert themselves." Zillax nodded thoughtfully. "Their bodies are built for this environment. What is effortless for them requires our maximum output." The most revealing aspect, Thune added, is that they classify a survival skill as entertainment. This changes my understanding of human psychology. Back in her office, Samantha watched the day's footage with Dr. Peterson and the production team. The first episode was being edited for broadcast. "The viewers are going to love this," said the show's producer, a woman named Kelly. "The ratings projections are already breaking records. Everyone wants to see how the aliens handle human sports." Dr. Peterson studied the medical readings from the session. Their bodies were under significant stress, but within safe parameters. "I'm impressed by their adaptability. Tomorrow we introduce them to deep water," Samantha said. "That's when it gets really interesting." Across the galaxy on the Arvani homeworld, news of the cultural exchange program was spreading rapidly. Early footage of the swimming lessons had been transmitted back to their planet. Arvani scientists and sociologists were stunned to see their representatives struggling with what humans considered casual recreation. "These sports appear to be disguised endurance training," one Arvani official commented. "No wonder humans have survived on such a hostile world." As viewership numbers climbed on both planets, few understood just how profound this cultural revelation would become. For humans, it was entertaining to watch aliens try their sports. For the Arvani, it was a disturbing glimpse into the species that treated survival training as play. By the end of their first week on Earth, the Arvani delegates had made surprising progress with swimming. Thune could now paddle across the shallow end without stopping. Nilar had mastered floating on his back. Even Ambassador Zilax had overcome his initial fear of submersion. The cameras captured every achievement, and Stellar Sports Challenge quickly became the most watched program on both planets. The second week brought a new challenge: basketball. The aliens arrived at an indoor court where a tall, broad-shouldered, human man waited for them. "Welcome to Gravity Games," said Kyle Bennett, a retired professional basketball player. "I'll be your coach for this week." The aliens looked up, way up, at the human who stood over 7 feet tall. "You're larger than typical humans," Neeler observed. Kyle laughed. "I was built for this game. But don't worry, we'll modify the rules to make it work for your physiology." He bounced an orange ball toward them. It hit the floor near Thune, who jumped back in surprise at the sound. When he tried to pick it up, he struggled with its weight. "This sphere is quite dense," he said, using both sets of arms to lift it. "Standard basketball," Kyle explained. "The key to this game is dribbling, passing, and shooting into that hoop." He pointed to the basket 10 feet above the court. The aliens stared upward. Even for Kyle, the hoop was well above his head, but for the shorter Arvani, it seemed impossibly high. "You expect us to launch this object to that elevation?" Ambassador Zilax asked incredulously. "That's the challenge," Samantha said, entering the gym with Dr. Peterson. "Basketball is all about overcoming gravity." For the next hour, Kyle demonstrated basic dribbling. The aliens struggled to bounce the ball with enough force to return it to their hands. Earth's gravity made the ball fall faster and harder than they expected. Their thin arms lacked the strength to control it properly. "I've been calculating," Neeler said after his 10th failed attempt, "and I believe our power output needs to increase by approximately 40% to match human capability in this activity." Kyle nodded. "Your bodies aren't built for this game, but your minds might be. Basketball is also about strategy and teamwork." They moved on to passing drills. Here, the aliens found more success. Their forearms gave them unique advantages for catching and quick lateral passes. "Good," Kyle encouraged. "Now let's try some shooting." He lowered a portable hoop to 6 feet, still challenging for the shorter aliens but not impossible. He demonstrated a basic shot, the ball arcing perfectly through the net. When Thune tried, his shot fell far short. Zilax couldn't even lift the ball with the proper form. Neeler, however, after studying Kyle's movements carefully, managed to hit the rim on his 3rd attempt. "Excellent progress," Kyle said. "Let's keep working." By the end of the session, all 3 aliens were exhausted, their muscles trembling from exertion under Earth's heavy gravity. Yet they had each made small improvements. Back in their quarters, they watched recordings of human basketball games. Professional players leapt incredible heights, changed direction at high speed, and endured physical contact that would shatter Arvani bones. "This can't merely be entertainment," Zilax said. "Look at their movements, the rapid acceleration, the battle for territory, the defensive formations. This resembles military training." "Precisely," Neelar agreed. "I've been analyzing all the sports they've shown us. Swimming teaches survival in hazardous liquid environments. This basketball develops coordination, team tactics, and rapid response under pressure." Thune was studying his tablet. According to their sports history, many human games originated from war preparation or hunting skills. The next day, when they returned to the court, the aliens approached with new understanding. They were no longer just learning a game. They were studying human combat preparation disguised as play. "You're looking more serious today," Kyle noted, as they began warm-up exercises. "We've been considering the purpose behind these activities," Zilax replied carefully. "They seem educational." Kyle grinned. "All good games teach you something." As they practiced, viewers across 2 worlds watched with growing fascination. Human audiences cheered the aliens' determination. Arvani viewers began to see humans in a new light, as a species so adapted to hardship that they turned survival skills into recreation. The galactic perspective on humanity was slowly shifting. The third week of the cultural exchange brought the most challenging test yet for the Arvani visitors. The production team for Stellar Sports Challenge flew the aliens and their human companions to Colorado. "Why have we changed locations?" Ambassador Xilax asked as they stepped off the private jet. The aliens immediately noticed the difference in the air. "This is more difficult to breathe," Neeler said, his breathing rate increasing. "The oxygen content feels lower." Samantha nodded. "We're at high altitude now, about 8,000 feet above sea level. This is where we'll begin your endurance training." "Endurance training?" Thune repeated, his purple skin paling slightly. A fit human woman with long, dark hair pulled into a ponytail approached them. "Hello, I'm Lisa Chen, former Olympic distance runner. I'll be your guide for hiking and jogging this week." Dr. Peterson checked the aliens' vital signs with his medical scanner. "Your bodies are already adapting to Earth conditions better than expected. Your muscle density has increased by 7% since arrival." This news surprised the Arvani. Their species was not known for rapid physical adaptation. "This week is about building stamina," Lisa explained. "We'll start with light hiking today, then progress to jogging by the end of the week." The camera crews followed as they drove to a scenic mountain trail. The landscape was breathtaking. Pine forests, rocky outcrops, and snow-capped peaks in the distance. But the beauty did little to comfort the aliens when they realized what lay ahead. "We will walk up that?" Xilax pointed to the trail that wound upward along the mountainside. "Just the first 2 miles," Lisa said cheerfully. "It's a beginner trail." The humans distributed lightweight backpacks, water bottles, and hiking poles to everyone. The aliens examined the equipment with curiosity. "These are tools for traversing difficult terrain," Neeler observed. "Similar to what explorers might use." "Exactly," Jack said. "Hiking combines recreation with practical skills for navigating wilderness." The group set off up the trail. Within minutes, the aliens were struggling. The combination of thin air, increased gravity, and uneven terrain made every step exhausting. They paused frequently to catch their breath while the humans waited patiently. "Humans do this for enjoyment?" Thune gasped during one rest break. "Absolutely," Lisa said. "There's something rewarding about pushing through discomfort to reach a beautiful viewpoint." "Pushing through discomfort," Xilax repeated thoughtfully. "A very human concept." By midday, they had climbed only 1 mile. The humans could have easily gone much farther, but they adjusted their pace for the aliens. When they reached a scenic overlook, everyone stopped for lunch. "Your species evolved to handle such conditions?" Neeler asked Lisa as they ate protein bars and fruit. "Not exactly," Lisa replied. "Humans also find this challenging. We've just learned to adapt and push our limits. My Olympic training was about extending what my body could tolerate." "Tell us about this runner's high concept," Xilax requested. "Jack mentioned it yesterday." "It's a feeling of euphoria during extended physical exercise," Lisa explained. "Our bodies release chemicals called endorphins that produce pleasure and reduce pain." The aliens looked astonished. "Your biology rewards physical stress?" Thune asked. "Yes," Dr. Peterson joined in. "It's an evolutionary adaptation. Our ancestors needed to travel long distances to hunt and survive, so our bodies developed mechanisms to make sustained effort pleasurable." This revelation fascinated the Arvani. Their own species evolved in a gentle environment where physical stress was rare and generally avoided. As they continued their hike after lunch, the aliens began to approach the experience differently. Instead of fighting against Earth's conditions, they tried to work with them, adjusting their movements to conserve energy. Back on the Arvani homeworld, scientists studied the footage with growing interest. One evolutionary biologist appeared on a popular science program to discuss the implications. "What we're witnessing," he told millions of viewers, "is how a species adapts to a harsh world. Humans turned survival necessities into cultural practices. They don't just endure hardship, They deliberately seek it for improvement. By week's end, the aliens could walk 3 miles without stopping. Small achievements by human standards, but revolutionary for the Arvani physiology. More importantly, they were beginning to understand the human mindset that turned struggle into strength. Week 5 of the cultural exchange brought the Arvani delegates face to face with something they had only theorized about: human contact sports. The production team had set up a special facility where the aliens could safely experience modified versions of football and hockey. A broad-shouldered man with salt and pepper hair greeted them at the indoor sports complex. "Welcome, I'm Coach Doug Harrison. I've spent 30 years teaching contact sports, but this is my first time working with non-humans." The aliens stared at the equipment laid out before them: helmets, padding, gloves, and protective gear modified for their four-armed bodies. "What is the purpose of this armor?" Ambassador Zillax asked, picking up a helmet. "Protection," Coach Harrison replied. "In these sports, physical contact between players is part of the game." The three Arvani exchanged alarmed glances. Cultural specialist Thune's purple skin darkened with concern. "You deliberately collide with each other?" he asked. "As recreation?" Samantha nodded. "Contact sports teach cooperation under pressure, spatial awareness, and controlled aggression." "Controlled aggression," Neeler repeated slowly. "An interesting concept." Coach Harrison clapped his hands together. "Let's start with the basics. We've modified the rules to focus on teamwork rather than physical contact for your safety." The aliens reluctantly put on their protective gear. The extra weight added to the strain of Earth's gravity, making them move even more awkwardly than usual. "First, we'll try a simplified version of football," the coach explained. "The goal is to move this ball," he held up a football, "across the field to score points." For the next hour, the coach demonstrated basic passing, catching, and running plays. The aliens struggled with the quick directional changes and precision throws required. Their forearms gave them advantages in catching, but the weight of the ball and the need for accurate throws challenged them. During a short break, Dr. Peterson checked their vital signs. "Your heart rates are elevated but stable. How are you feeling?" "This is quite intense," Zillax admitted. "The constant movement and strategic thinking combined is unlike anything on our world." After football basics, they moved to hockey. The smooth ice surface presented new challenges for the aliens, who slipped and slid despite the special skates designed for their anatomy. "Balance is key," Coach Harrison explained, helping Thune stand after his third fall. "Humans spend years mastering these skills." Neeler tried to push the puck with his stick but lost his balance and crashed into the boards. A sharp pain shot through his upper left arm. "Stop!" Dr. Peterson rushed over and scanned the injury. "Minor tissue damage. Nothing broken, but he needs rest." The incident created tension among the group. Ambassador Zillax pulled Samantha aside. "These activities seem unnecessarily dangerous," he said. "On our world, we would never risk physical injury for entertainment." Samantha considered his words carefully. "I understand your concern, but look." She rolled up her sleeve to reveal a long scar on her forearm. "I broke this arm playing soccer when I was 12. Most humans have similar stories." She continued. "These experiences taught me to overcome pain, to support teammates, and to face challenges directly. We don't play these games despite the risk. The risk is part of the learning." This revelation fascinated Zillax. "You intentionally expose your young to controlled danger? How else would they learn to handle real danger?" Samantha asked simply. That evening, Ambassador Zillax sent an urgent message to the Galactic Council. The encrypted transmission contained his most significant observation yet. Humans recreationally practice war. Their sports simulate combat, scenarios, teaching strategy, teamwork, and pain tolerance from childhood. This explains their rapid advancement despite their harsh homeworld. They are not merely surviving their death world, they are continuously training to overcome it. The response from the Council came swiftly. "Continue observation. This information changes our understanding of human potential." Meanwhile, social media across Earth exploded with memes about terrifying human hobbies and clips of the aliens. Shocked reactions to normal human activities. The show's viewership had reached unprecedented numbers on both planets. As Week 5 concluded, the aliens had gained a new respect for human resilience and a new fear of what this species might become if ever truly challenged. The final week of the Stellar Sports Challenge arrived, and the production team had saved the most extreme activities for last. The aliens and their human companions traveled to Yosemite National Park, where towering rock formations reached toward the sky. "This is truly magnificent," Ambassador Zelak said, his large eyes taking in the majestic granite walls of El Capitan. A lean, muscular human with sun-weathered skin approached the group. "Welcome to my office," he said with a wide smile. "I'm Ryan Murphy, professional rock climber and your guide for the next few days." Thune looked up at the sheer rock face. "You climb these vertical surfaces? Without anti-gravity assistance?" "Just hands, feet, and determination," Ryan replied, patting a bag of equipment. "Plus some safety gear, of course." The aliens watched in stunned silence as Ryan demonstrated basic climbing techniques on a smaller practice wall. His fingers found tiny cracks and edges that seemed impossibly small. His body moved with fluid grace, defying gravity with each reach. "Now it's your turn," Ryan said, helping the aliens into harnesses specially designed for their four-armed bodies. "We'll start with the beginner route." Science Officer Neeler went first, his thin limbs trembling with the effort of supporting his weight. Though Earth's gravity was punishing, his analytical mind helped him find efficient paths up the rock. "Look for places to rest your weight," Ryan called up. "Climbing is about conservation of energy as much as strength." Ambassador Zelak struggled more, his diplomatic training having little application to this physical challenge. But it was Thune who surprised everyone. The cultural specialist discovered that the natural adhesive properties of his skin, a leftover, evolutionary trait from the Arvani's distant tree-dwelling ancestors, gave him an unexpected advantage on the rock. "Remarkable," Ryan exclaimed as Thune moved up the wall with growing confidence. "Your species might have natural adaptations for climbing that even you didn't realize." By the end of the day, all three aliens had successfully climbed the beginner wall. Their bodies ached, their hands were scraped, but they shared a strange new feeling, a sense of accomplishment unlike anything they had experienced in the program so far. The next day brought the final challenge, a modified, Tough Mudder obstacle course designed to test all the skills they had learned over the 6 weeks. "This is the culmination of your Earth sports experience," Samantha explained as they surveyed the course. It featured walls to climb, water to swim through, balance beams to cross, and mud pits to navigate. "You want us to intentionally enter mud?" Zelax asked incredulously. "It's part of the challenge," Jack Martinez said with a grin. "Embracing discomfort is a human specialty." Live broadcast cameras were positioned throughout the course. This final event had become a global sensation, with billions of viewers across both planets tuning in. As the aliens prepared at the starting line, dark clouds gathered overhead. The weather forecast had predicted clear skies, but mountain weather was notoriously unpredictable. "Should we postpone?" Dr. Peterson asked, looking concerned at the approaching storm. "We've come too far to stop now," Ambassador Zelak said with newfound determination. "We will complete this challenge as humans would." The course began well, with the aliens showing remarkable improvement in swimming and climbing compared to their first attempts weeks earlier. They helped each other over walls and across obstacles, applying teamwork principles they had learned. Halfway through, the storm hit. Rain poured down, turning the gentle stream crossing into a rushing current. The production team signaled to modify the route, but before they could redirect participants, the water rose rapidly. Captain Wright's expression changed instantly from casual to focused as she assessed the situation. "Everyone switch to emergency protocols," she ordered, no longer the friendly liaison but a commanding officer. The humans moved with practiced efficiency, their recreational skills seamlessly transitioning to survival mode. Ryan secured safety lines across the water. Lisa began plotting an evacuation route. Coach Harrison organized equipment distribution. The aliens watched this transformation with sudden clarity. There was no difference between how humans played and how they survived. It was all the same training, applied to different scenarios. As thunder crashed overhead, Ambassador Zelax realized the profound truth they had been learning all along. 1 month after returning from Earth, Ambassador Zelax stood before the Grand Assembly of the Galactic Council. Representatives from 200 species filled the vast chamber, all gathered to hear the findings from the now famous Stellar Sports Challenge Cultural Exchange. Esteemed representatives, Zelax began, his voice carrying through the hall, our mission to understand human recreational activities has revealed something profound about their species. Holographic images appeared above the assembly, showing moments from their 6-week journey, swimming lessons, basketball games, mountain hiking, contact sports, and the final obstacle course that turned into a real emergency. What humans call sports or recreation are, in fact, comprehensive survival training programs. Zelax continued. They have transformed the harsh conditions of their death world into challenges that they voluntarily undertake for personal improvement. Science Officer Neeler stepped forward, his body noticeably more muscular than before his Earth visit. Our analysis shows that human children begin this training almost from birth. They learn to overcome gravity, water, heights, and physical conflict as part of normal development. Cultural specialist Thune, who had remained on Earth for extended study, joined via holographic projection. Most significantly, humans have evolved to find pleasure in these challenges. Their biology rewards struggle with chemical responses. They call endorphins and adrenaline. Murmurs spread through the assembly as the implications became clear. We propose a new classification, Ambassador Zelax announced. Humans should no longer be categorized merely as Deathworlders, but as adaptable species with recreational survival training. Their greatest strength is not their physical bodies, but their psychological approach to hardship. The Council voted unanimously to adopt the new classification. Additionally, they approved a series of recommendations. Human sports would become mandatory study for military academies across the galaxy, and a follow-up program called Gentle World Species Tri-Human Activities would be developed with proper safety protocols. Back on Earth, the success of the cultural exchange had transformed human-alien relations. The United Nations Interspecies Office hosted a formal reception to celebrate the program's conclusion and unveil new cooperative initiatives. The viewership numbers were unprecedented, Director Susan Miller told the gathered diplomats and media. Over 12 billion sentient beings across the galaxy watched the finale. Captain Samantha Wright received a special commendation for her quick thinking during the storm emergency. I was just doing what any human would do, she said modestly during her acceptance speech. We train our whole lives for moments like that, even if we don't realize it. Thune, who had chosen to stay on Earth as the first alien sports ethnographer, announced his plan to compete in the next year's climbing competition. His natural abilities, combined with his new understanding of human persistence, made him an ideal cultural bridge. Dr. Alan Peterson presented his medical findings to the gathered scientists. The Arvani physiology adapted remarkably to Earth. Conditions: their muscle density increased by 23%, bone strength improved by 17%, and their cardiovascular efficiency nearly doubled. Their species shows surprising adaptability when faced with constant challenges. In a quiet moment during the reception, Ambassador Zelax spoke privately with Jack Martinez. There's one thing I still don't understand about humans, he admitted. With all the survival training disguised as fun, why do you still seek peace rather than conquest? Jack smiled. Because the best games are cooperative, not competitive. We learned that the hard way through our history. Across the room, Neeler sat at a table with a chessboard between him and Dr. Peterson. The science officer stared at the pieces with growing horror as he realized the true nature of this simple game. This is strategic military training, he whispered. You're simulating warfare as entertainment. Dr. Peterson just smiled and moved his knight. Checkmate in 3 moves, he said. As the reception continued, news broadcasts around the world announced the next phase of interspecies cooperation. Human fitness instructors would begin teaching modified Earth sports throughout the galaxy, while alien specialists would introduce their own cultural activities to humanity. The universe had changed forever. The species once feared for evolving on a death world was now admired for the same reason. Humans had turned survival into an art form, and the galaxy would never be the same.